Hello everyone, not that long ago, I watched all the Monster High films for the first time ever in order of release, and before I went into watching these films, I had no idea the kind of topics they were gonna cover. One thing for sure, I wasn't expecting to see them talking about racism, discrimination, segregation, and also see an attempted public execution on my screen. The two films I want to talk about today, because when I watched them, I was just thinking, whoa, is Fright On and Ghouls Rule. Fright On came out in 2011, and the plot of this film is that the Monster High School is taking students from a vampire school where only vampire kids go to and a werewolf school where only werewolf kids go to, because Monster High is so inclusive and everyone's equal when they go there. So they want to include more students, and if everything goes well, they're planning to integrate more schools, more monster schools, and then hopefully at the end of the day, that monster kids can go to normie schools, the human schools. When this film first opens up, we see that the kids from the Monster High School, our main characters, they're going to go watch a film called Twilight, which is their version of Twilight, and we see that people are looking at Draculaura and Claw's direction, and they're kind of whispering and just looking at them, and they think, oh, are they talking about us because I'm a vampire and he's a werewolf? So we get a little hint about the history there, but they're just looking at them because Draculaura has tissue on her shoe. When they're back in school, the head teacher holds an assembly and she says that vampire students and werewolf students will be joining Monster High. Hopefully everything will go according to plan, and she explains the plan of hoping one day that monster kids can go to human schools, and she gets the cheer team to put together a welcoming committee. When the new students come, everything is going horribly. They're fighting with each other, people are claiming territories, and then Frankie decides, like, enough is enough. She asks the teacher, can we put together a dance? They love a dance in Monster High. Usually a dance is the answer to everything, which a dance is the answer in Ghouls Rule, which we'll get into next. So the dance, they get the vampire kids and the werewolf kids to dance together. Everything is going well until the head teacher's assistant calls up Van Helscream. Administrator Van Helscream comes and he's like, I'm an expert. I'm a human that's an expert in monsters. I will help you with this transition. It's all a lie. They turn the head teacher into stone. Her assistant takes over her likeness, and they just start spreading hate within all the different students. They tell them, oh, did you know that the werewolves carry diseases? Did you know that vampires suck your life energy? All these crazy lies that he's telling them, so they can continue to hate each other. This leads to Draculaura and Claw's relationship breaking apart because of everyone fighting with each other. The vampires have their own group and they're kind of protesting. The werewolves have their own group. The vampires have their group is called Vampowerment, and the werewolves have Were Pride. So a lot of segregation happening here. Everyone is just separated. Vampire only toilets, vampire only hallways, werewolf only XYZ. Everything is just like for one group only. Out of our main characters, the two that get seduced into this world of like vampowerment, wear pride, and just sticking to your own people is Howleen and Draculaura. Howleen gets seduced by this world because like her sister keeps telling her, stop taking my bag, stop taking my clothes, stop doing stuff like this, which is very sisterly. Like, if your sister takes something, you argue about it and then you move on the next day. But she's had enough, and Van Helscream tells her, yeah, like, you know, we can do Wear Pride, you can be their leader, which she takes up on that. And then Draculaura, because everything that's happening with her and Claude, the vampires tell her, join our group. You know, they have now been put into these groups where they're hating on each other. Frankie's very suspicious the whole time of the headmistress because she's like, something doesn't seem right. I feel like Administrator Van Helscream is doing everything, he's making people fight, but no one really believes her. They just think like, oh, maybe you're just overthinking things, like maybe this is just natural for things like this to happen. But then later on, her, Abby, and Laguna figure out what actually happened, and they try to figure out a way to get their teacher from being a statue back to normal so she can stop everything from happening. But that doesn't go according to plan because Van Helscream has kidnapped all of them and he is trying to kill them. And this is where he reveals why he's doing all this, why he's come to the school just to spread hate and to keep everyone fighting with each other. He said that the reason why he's doing all this, the reason why he's there making everyone fight with each other is because if monsters are too busy fighting with each other, they won't turn on the humans. They won't have time for the humans. He says that Monster High was doing well and he couldn't even take that. He was upset. He was angry over the fact that Monster High was doing well. Now that they want to bring in more schools, integrate more schools, and let monster students go to human schools, he said, no, you guys need to stay in your own lane. And that's why he was causing all this. He wanted the supervisor supervisors to come and see all the students fighting so they can throw this plan out, and then all the monsters just keep to their own cells and keep fighting with each other for years to come. At the end of this film, it's a happy ending. It ends with a dance. We get rid of Van Helscream. The students are all talking to each other. They're all dancing together. So when the inspectors come, they just see that the students are having a ball and they're like, yeah, this plan is working. I really like this film. Before I started watching Monster High, I just thought everyone liked each other because it's Monster High. And all the pictures and the videos I saw, they're all friends. I thought they all liked each other because they're all monsters, but that wasn't the case. I learned that there's a lot of history between the different groups, and there's people out there who'd want them to keep fighting just for the sake of fighting with each other. And it was also really nice to see that the kids were like, yeah, our people have hated each other because of things that have happened. They don't even know their own history. One thing that Van Helscream was doing is telling each of them, like, they did this to you. Do you not know your own history? Which they don't know. They're kids. They just going to school and stuff. They said, okay, this is our history, but we don't have to keep like continuing down this road. We can change that. Yes, there's the past that happened, but we are not the people of the past kind of situation. That's what happened in this film. The second film I wanted to talk about is Ghouls Rule. And who's at the scene of the crime again? Van Helscream. Van Helscream is there stirring things up. Ghouls Rule came out in 2012, and in this film is Halloween. This is Frankie's first Halloween, and they get taught that, you know, Halloween is not a good time for monsters because humans turn on us. They will hunt us, they will trick us, they will do anything to us, right? And Frankie's like, huh? That's not what I learned in my magazines. And Cleo's like, yeah, you mean your normie magazines? Of course they're filled with lies. And Frankie cannot believe this. So she asked Draculaura, like, do you have any experience about Halloween? And Draculaura tells her about a time where they had to leave their home due to a misunderstanding that happened in Halloween. She was eating, a human woman and her daughter came, and Draculaura waved at them, but from their perspective, it just looked like she had blood all over her face and she was just eating a tomato, and they chased them out of the town. As Frankie is speaking to Draculaura, the students from the human school come and attack Monster High. They throw eggs at the place, they throw tissue at the place, and there's two boys, they're like the jocks of that school. They're like, this is gonna be the worst Halloween for you guys ever. For no reason, unprovoked, they just came and attacked them. Also, something that's really interesting about this film is like seeing how the Monster High School changes over like the different adaptations and stuff, because in this Monster High, the school is right outside of the town where the humans live, but in other adaptations Monster High is like in a portal that the humans can't see. You have to go through the portal, which I think that's what happened in the Monster High live adaptation film. So when Frankie witnesses what the humans have done, she's becoming really helpless and she's starting to believe, yeah, Halloween is actually a time that is bad for us monsters. She comes across Spectra, who's doing a research project on Halloween, and they see a map of the catacombs and something that says the Hall of Halloween. So they ask Apparetta to help them find them, and she's like, I've never even heard of this, and she spends all of her time in the catacombs. When they find the Hall of Halloween, they learn what the true meaning of Halloween was, that back in the day, at the start, it was a time where the humans would show their appreciation and their love and their thankfulness for their monster brothers and sisters. They will dress up as them and they would do tricks and give them sweets and stuff, and the monsters would wear their best dresses, and then in the end they will have a party. They celebrate their like togetherness. Frankie's really excited and she's like, yes, this is the real meaning of Halloween. I need to tell everyone. But by the time she gets from where she is and to where everyone else is, the humans have attacked the school again, which introduces us to a side story that's going on between Abby and Heath. Oh, I love Abby and Heath. Like, I came across that ship and I was like, yeah, I'm behind this. I really like this. Abby saves Heath from like this pumpkin that's coming through him, and at the start he's impressed, but then all the boys are like, oh, a girl just saved you. And now in the story he's trying to save Abby so he can like pay her back and prove that he's capable of saving her and he doesn't need to be saved by a girl. There's a lot of different attempts where he's trying to do that and he keeps failing. After the second attack on the school, the headmistress tells everyone, if you're away from the school, hide yourselves, like don't let the humans see you. And Frankie's like, hold on, this is very different from what you taught us. So what is this? This is not what I learned in Monster High. We need to take back Halloween for the monsters. She's doing a whole speech. The other students, they're like, yeah, we need to take it back by force, and then they start planning how they're gonna get the humans back. While everyone's riled up, we see that Cleo is speaking to her dad and her sister, and they want her to step up and be a leader to these people so they can get back at the normies. And then they also bring up her relationship with Deuce and they pressure her like, yeah, he's not the one for you. You need to be with someone of your own kind, like royalty and stuff like that. In New York, when they break up and they sing that song, I was watching, I was like, do I cry? Do I dance? I love that song. That was a sad scene, but I really like that song. It's on my Spotify. Because of the conversation she had with her family, Cleo is now like rallying up everyone. Yes, we need to get them back, and they plan on what they're gonna do. So they find themselves at the Normie school, but when they get there, the school has been vandalized with the Monster High logo, and then we enter the police. The police start chasing them. They start running straight away because they don't trust the police. They start running, the police start chasing them down, and then they come across a party where we meet Chad and Claire. We see Chad dancing. It's just so funny to see him dance. The party is going good, everything is going good, and then Heath eats something spicy, and then his hair goes up in flames, and then they find out that they're monsters, and then we get introduced to Lilith Van Helscream, who is the niece of the monster hunter Van Helscream. So when Heath's hair goes on fire, the other students at the party find out that they're monsters. They start to try have a fight, and then Chad is like, hey, like, when they came here, the party was really good. They didn't do anything to anyone, so why are you trying to fight them? Then we see that the police is outside and they have captured Holt. Holt slash Jackson. Jackson is the human version of him and Holt is the monster version of him. And I really liked him in this because we get to see from his perspective like how different the places are and how he's treated as like a human and as a monster and stuff like that. That was really good. I like that. When they arrest Holt, the students go back to school and then they get put into detention and they're like, how are we gonna save him? But because he can just take off his headphones when he's not listening to music and he becomes Jackson, the policeman is confused, like, why are you here? Where's the blue guy? And he's like, I don't know, I was just walking and he brought me in here. So he just takes him to the school. And then he's there for a little bit and he's like kind of excited to be here because no one is treating him any different. But then he starts to realize, yeah, I'm getting bullied here as well. And then he becomes friends with Claire and Chad. As Jackson is getting used to this school, he starts to hear music coming from the speaker and he starts turning into Holt. And that's when Lilith sees him. And then the school gets vandalized again. And they're like, oh my God, it was the guy that was arrested at the party. He's back to attack us again. The news is covering this. They're like asking the police sheriff, what are you going to do about this? The people demand justice, right? When the Monster High School got attacked, no one said anything, but back at the Monster High School, the students learn about what happened to the normal school being attacked again, and they're celebrating Hulk because he's doing something for them. He's showing them what they deserve. Yes, I've taken him as some kind of hero. And Cleo, she starts seeing her sister in her head, telling her, like, if this was me, I would make the situation about myself. So she does. She tells everyone, yeah, like Holt will be updating his social media. He's going to be messaging me. I'll tell everyone what's going on because he's being inspired by me. He's doing everything because of me. Because of everything Cleo's doing, and Deuce doesn't really agree with her because he knows that everything that she's saying and doing isn't things that she wants to do. It's what her family is pressuring her to do. It's her family speaking through her. So because of that, Cleo's like, okay, you don't support me. My family are right. I deserve someone who supports me, and she breaks up with him. As everyone is celebrating Holt as a hero, Frankie, Abby, Laguna, and Deuce are like, we need to figure out how to stop him. So they figure out where he is. That he's in the human school. They find him and they're like, you need to stop doing this. This is a bit too far now. And he's like, I have not done anything. I am being set up. Enter Lilith with the police, and she figured out that Jackson will turn into Holt if she plays music, which she does, and she's like, there is your criminal. The police arrest him. They do a press conference, right? And the press conference, he's like, we're gonna give him the trick or treatment, which hasn't been done for the past 200 years. I'm thinking trick or treatment, they're gonna throw vegetables at him. No, they try to execute him publicly, and everyone was really excited for this. The humans, they were like, yeah, their pitchforks, their little torches, they were excited about this. What was shocking to me though is the Monster Elder Council. So the kids are back in school, the teacher's telling them you're gonna get detention again. They see the press conference on the screen where the police officer is saying how they're gonna give him the trick or treatment, and then the Monster Elders call the headmistress and they're like, yep, we're not gonna do anything, like we're just gonna leave him up to his fate. You know, this kid who is arrested and he's under our care, we're just going to let him get executed. You know, that's his problem. Frankie's like, absolutely not. We are not going to let this happen. So the first thing that they need to do is figure out who set up Holt. So they figure out that the person who was vandalizing everything was Lilith, and the person who was posting on Holt's social media, Jackson's social media, was Cleo. So they send him a letter saying, meet me here. I'm going to tell everyone what you did. I'm going to tell the police what you did. They meet and they're like, you guys need to go to the police and tell them what you did. If not, Holt is gonna be killed. They go to the police and Lilith confesses and she's like, I just wanted to go back to the good old days that my uncle used to tell me about, a time where monsters knew their place. And Cleo's like, I'm just sick and tired. She confesses as well. I'm sick and tired of being treated as a second-class citizen. I wanted monsters to stand up for themselves. The police officer, what does he say? He said, tell that to someone who cares. Tell that to someone who cares. Because he said, I do not care at all.
I don't care.
Wait, what?
Don't care, don't care, don't care.
I will give the people the justice that they want. Justice? Where? In this film, we were seeing the police abusing their power, police brutality. They did not care about executing the wrong person. They just wanted an execution. Frank is like, oh my god, we need to do something to save Holt ourselves because the Monster Elder Council are not doing anything. The police, they just want to take this man's life. Like, when they put him on this platform where the platform goes up and there's like a pumpkin that's going like this and his head is going to go in there and it's going to take off his head. Like, what the hell was going on in this film? So Frankie and the human students that they trust, Lilith and the boys that was spray painting and vandalizing everywhere, they come up with a plan. They scare everyone so they can like get a Holt off the platform. They distract the police figure out what they're doing. They start chasing them. They rally up the humans that were there because the adults are there while the kids are knocking on doors saying trick or treat. No one is there. They didn't really care about Halloween for the kids, so they rally up the humans and they're like, we need to go and storm that school. So they trick them to go to the school. They storm the school all to get them to the Hall of Halloween, and they have a party. From a kid's point of view, the film is like, yeah, we're all the same at the end of the day. Even though we come from different backgrounds, we're the same. And it's all about coming together and standing up for your friends and like protecting your friends. But as an adult watching this film, what do you mean you're having a party with a police officer that just tried to kill your friend? The head teacher who was like, yeah, we're not going to do anything because the Elder Council has deemed that we do nothing. She's dancing with the sheriff. Huh? Like, the film was really interesting. I just could not believe the way it ended. I was watching that and I was just shocked. I was just shocked watching this whole film. I thought it was going to be like silly. They're vandalizing things and he's going to get in trouble and he has to like clean up the place, community service kind of thing. No, we're going to execute you. Oh, also sorry. Like, not even a sorry that we tried to execute you, publicly for the fun of it. Nah, we're just going to have a party because, it's a dance. It's a party. That was crazy to me. Like, everything I've seen of Monster High has been fun. It's been fun for me to watch. Like, the films are really good. I've been really enjoying them. And I've also bought my very first doll. Like, look at her. I was looking at these dolls and then I saw this one of Venus and then I remembered, I'm an adult. I have my own money that I can afford this. So I'm just going to buy her. And yeah, I'm now getting into doll collection. Which doll should I get next? But yeah, I've been having fun in the Monster High space. I've been enjoying it. I have one of the books already. This is serious business, guys. I want to know every single thing about this world. I want to know everything about the characters. There's a lot of the films that I watched that I want to talk about, so look out for that. I will be talking and sharing my thoughts on those films as well. Hopefully you enjoyed this video because I really enjoy talking about these films. If you did, make sure you give me a like and a subscribe, and also in the comments let me know, what was your favorite Monster High film? What was your favorite Monster High character? I would like to search these up and just see what's out there. So yeah, let me know and I will see you in my next video. Bye!